this is rainbow country here. So, you're going to have to like find a little place to sit. And I mean, the cool part about a rainbow is it is a giant slide. So you can, have a fun ride. And have a conversation while you're there. It's great. So I've got Sophia here, and so far so good. No trolldom except her. She's like the little queen troll. I need to make her a crown. I really do. But anyway, I was thinking about something today, and it's something that a lot of people I know had to go through. When living in America, if you had no insurance, okay, and you lived with a pain condition, usually it would go one of three ways. I only ever tried two. Some people went the third route. The first route, of course, is go to a free clinic, hope that you can be seen, and just wait in line, and just, like I said, first come, first served usually, and that is if there's any available space, which, we've been over that, yeah. The second option is go to the emergency room, which just walking in that door, you're going to go into debt. You're talking thousands of dollars just, walking in the door of the hospital to be seen. It's almost as if, even putting pen to paper costs you when you go in there. And you're not the one that put the pen to paper, they're charging two separate fees to draw blood. I mean, it's a little crazy. I am actually a goofball. No, really, I am. I gave you the first two things, and then I completely forgot to tell you the third thing that people do. Although I'm pretty sure you can deduce it for yourself, I'm still going to tell you. I knew quite a few people that would go to questionable people to try to buy pain meds. And if that didn't work out, then they would go to the street and try to talk to people and kind of like roll the dice and hope for the best. And you never knew what you were going to get. So, yeah, it's it was not a great bunch of choices, especially when you're in that much pain, because the stress makes the pain worse. And yeah, you get it. I know. But anyway, I just wanted to include this extra little part so you know what the third option was. So you go in there and you explain your situation, and you explain how much pain you're in, and you hope that they believe you. That's the fun part, because they will always look at you funny. Always. You ask anybody that has been in that position, how people look at you when you go in to ask for your pain pills. And it doesn't mean you like literally say, hey, I need pain pills. Obviously don't do that. But essentially, that's the whole purpose of you being there is, you're in pain, and and you're hoping, please, that somebody will take you seriously and get you some help. So you will wait in the emergency room, and then they put you in one of the hallways that has a whole bunch of rooms, numbered rooms, and you wait in there some more. And, we've been over this. It's like a second waiting room. And then you'll be seen by a nurse, an attending nurse, who is very frazzled, as they all are, because they're all overworked. And, I have nothing but respect for a nurse. Oh my God. The job that they do, the work that they put in, wow. I can't even imagine. I mean, I've done factory work. I've done physically laborious jobs. And I've also done a lot of office work where I had to put in hours overtime. Nothing compares to what they have to put up with. But she'll come in and get your, information. And, you could be in pain at that moment. And it doesn't matter how you're reacting. They're going to look at you in usually one of two ways. It can't be that bad, or you're a drug addict. It's so sad when they look at you like that, because you know that there are people out there that do that. And if you have any sense of self, of awareness, you will get angry with these kind of people, because they are putting doubts in people's heads as to the validity of your condition. Are you really in that much pain? Do you really need that? Do you really? It's not okay. And 9 times out of 10, they would go for the latter rather than the former. And, you would get some sort of like pain pill. But the thing is you would come out with a certain amount. Now, I didn't go into a lot of detail about this because it's going to show something to you that I don't think a lot of people talk about this. They should, and that's why I am, just to get it out there. But when you get your pills, if you managed it, and hopefully this is for a sincere need, because don't you dare go waste those people's time for something that's not even, you just want drugs. Please don't do that. Please. God. But you've got them now, and you've gone to the pharmacy, you've already had your like miniature moment, and you're still recovering from that, but you just happen to have enough to get them. And usually what they will give you is a 1 or 2 week supply, coupled with that note for the specialist that you can't see and won't see you, won't even really have a long discussion with you on the phone because you don't have health insurance. Heretic. You evil person. Go get health insurance, And, so 2 weeks worth of pain medications. Okay. Now, I'm in the kind of pain where I think I've described it before, but I can't stand fully, I can't sit fully, I can't lay down fully. The only kind of thing I could do was sort of lean over the back of the sofa and try to find a position where I didn't want to scream, because it hurts so bad. You just, it's very bad. And I have a friend right now actually who's got some back pain, and I feel very badly for her because been there, suffered through it, still suffering. It's awful. But so you're looking at that, and you have 2 weeks of these pills. What do? Because you can't go anywhere else to get any more, unless you're going to go through the whole rigmarole of let's go to an emergency room, let's try to free clinic, etc. And so what I would do is I would cut my pills into quarters. And there'd be a lot of dust on the plate, and yes, there would be misshaped pieces, but it quadrupled the amount of stuff that I had, and it allowed me to have a small amount of pain relief, but it wasn't a dangerous practice, really. It was desperation. It's how a few of my friends, a few people that I've read about online, and some I've met, had to cope with their limited amount of medications. And what I didn't tell you also is that while I was being prescribed morphine at the time, it was very difficult to find a pharmacy that would fill the prescription because they would make a moral judgment upon me. I'm sitting there quietly waiting for my prescription, hoping I will get it. And you don't understand. I mean, I had somebody, because I was in a wheelchair at the time, riding public transportation. And I had a friend who wheeled me all the way to the pharmacy, which was across Austin, Texas. It was on the other side of town. And we had to visit, I think it was 4 pharmacies that day. And, you take one bus trip across town, your day is gone. But we kept at it. And eventually we found a place that would, that would fill it. But even when they gave us the prescription, that pharmacist had to say something mean, something judgmental. There are certain things, if I could change when dealing with, pain medication and pain patients and treatment of them, is just keep your nasty comments to yourself, okay? Because this happened to me when I was in Tesco as well. Not a denial of filling my prescriptions. No, and no, I'm not getting morphine right now. But I do have codeine. I do get a muscle relaxer, and I do get at least a couple of other pills that are considered, kind of narcotic. I remember I went into Tesco to pick it up, and this person, and I'm already the kind of person that does not like to be noticed, I like to kind of sit in the background and, I wait my turn. And she looked right at me and she said, "Here is your bag of narcotics." In Tesco, I was floored. I couldn't believe this happened in Tesco. I'm like, who are you to judge me? I wouldn't even think of doing that to someone because I don't know their situation. I don't know what they're going through. And the fact that she thought she could just do that, And I had another one that actually, he made a comment. I don't know how you would like to interpret it. I think it was unnecessary, but when I called to see if my prescription was ready, he's like, "Oh, you have so many." And he's like, "You have what, 1, 2, 3?" And he counted them all out over the phone. What in his mind made him think that I needed a grand going over the scope and breadth of my pill consumption? What made him think I needed that on that day? Oh, yes, I'm incapable of knowing, just how many pills I have, sir. Thank you for telling me. Why are people like that? If you can't be civil and you can't approach somebody with a certain amount of common courtesy and dignity, minimize what you're going to say, because all you're going to do is just hurt someone and make yourself look worse than you really are. The woman who said what she said in Tesco, I didn't obviously shout in return. I went up there to get my medication, and I looked at her and I was like, I almost tried to justify myself to her, and I thought, no, I don't have to do that. And I just left. It wasn't worth it. I mean, I have a certain amount of energy every day, and sometimes a little more. But right then, I was just feeling so tired. I didn't want to argue. I didn't want to fight. I just wanted to go home. So if anything else, I just wish people would treat each other with a bit more respect. Now, I did learn something new today because I kept hearing two words, opiates and opioids. I wanted to know what the difference was because it just hadn't occurred to me, like what the difference was. I said, okay, fine, I'll go look, see what I can find out. An opiate is a direct derivative of the opium plant. So it's a natural substance based from that. An opioid is a synthetic substance that is usually much more potent than the natural opiate. And there were many different kinds made. I mean, one of the more retro ones was laudanum, and that was a distillation with alcohol. And they found out that, this was incredibly addictive, and this was quite a long time ago, 1830s, I think. Our former president in 2017 said that opioids were causing a public health emergency and that they were highly addictive. Anything associated with poppies, whether synthesized or not, is highly addictive, and it wreaks havoc on your body. Oh my gosh. So I just thought that was kind of interesting that, that announcement was made again. It's just like when the doctors tell me, well, you do realize that opiates are habit forming. Nuh-uh. Really? I know some people don't know that, but I've just been at this for, so long. I guess I'm jaded. I don't know. Or I have a short amount of patience when it comes to that nowadays. Because I've heard so many times from so many doctors that, you're more well versed in your disease than I am. And whenever I offer some information, they completely dismiss it. So what's the point in saying that? Anyway, yeah. And I think I'm going to talk about a little bit more about the effects of the opioid crisis in America, and compare it to what's going on in England and Wales, Scotland, and Ireland as well, just to see, because I'm curious how it compares. And there's also the native population in America, and I've watched a couple of documentaries about that already, and wow, it's heartbreaking is the best way I could put it. It's really just, nobody should live their life like that, and that's why I tell people, if you have pain in your back, please go see someone and have more than one opinion. Go see more than one person if you can, just a rounded opinion, and try not to have surgery unless you absolutely have no other choice, please, because it is not the be all and end all and the solution to back pain. In fact, it can sometimes exacerbate that pain. As I have spondylosis, I have degenerative disc disorder, sciatica, and of course, the lumbar herniated disc recovery sites and nerve bundles in my coccyx, which, make things difficult. So it's complex. There's a lot going on there. But yeah, I'm going to go over some statistics with you next time, I think, because there's a whole lot of information out there. But I think I will go over one that I found particularly sad, and I don't think it'll be too surprising to you guys, but 81,000 drug overdose occurred during the COVID lockdown in the 12 months after in America. And of course, it was the highest number of overdose deaths ever recorded in a 12-month period. And this all correlates to me, mental health, drug abuse. It's all connected, mental health needs to be considered a much higher priority, because there's far too many people out there that are being raised by people that don't know what they're doing, and other people, they did drugs while they were pregnant, and that child is, left dealing with things. And I know that the NHS does a great job of helping children that are like that, I know, but we really need to put some light on these subjects. Mental health, hugely important, huge. It needs to be respected, acknowledged, and investigated as a preventative measure, and to help our society run better, because it can run better. It can. You know this, I know this. I think we're just surrounded by a whole bunch of crazy. And as Dean Winchester would quote from Supernatural, which is one of my favorite shows of all time, "Is it on me? I feel like the crazy's on me." That's what I'm like every time I leave the house, because inevitably someone will make me think that. So, I don't want to make this too long. I really enjoyed talking to you guys, and look after yourselves. And again, if you're LGBTQ, you have questions, nobody's going to abuse you here. And if I see it, I will deal with it. Okay? You're in a safe space here. You're welcome. All right. So, with that, I bid you good night. And hopefully I'll be able to answer some comments from you guys. Oh, and thank you for the new subscriptions. I really appreciate it. The subscribe button's down there. If you're watching me and you like it, come on, hit the button. You want to. Go on. It's right there. It's not hard. All right, I'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching, by the way.